Sometimes the secret to doing better in your business is to give more away for free. That's right, free. Stick around. All that and more right after this.
You're listening to Idea Charger Radio.
Hey there, Success Chargers. It's Scott. Welcome back. We are here for another episode. Hey, I know it may sound a little bit different today, and that's because I'm on the road. I'm here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I've got a great day scheduled with a client here tomorrow, and I've been traveling all day. And you know what? I've been thinking about you guys while I'm on the plane. Yeah, I've been thinking about it because I've been thinking a lot this past week. Those of you that have been to our website at ideacharger.com, you've kind of poked around. You've maybe seen a little bit about what our show's about, and some of the articles and links to the past show episodes. And some of you have even found our page on Facebook, which is at facebook.com/successchargerpodcast. Not my favorite platform, but the reason I want you to go by there is if you haven't had a chance yet to participate, for only a few more days, I'm going to have the link up to allow you to participate in our podcast survey. It's a 63-second survey. There are 4 questions. 3 of them are multiple choice. This is how we keep this at 63 seconds, unless you're kind of long-winded on the question that's number 4. Of the responses we've gotten so far, I am blown away with all of the great things you have going on, number 1, in your business, but number 2, some of the challenges that you've all posted there, which I'm taking on as a challenge for the show. But I wanted to share a story with you. This past week, I got an email. And I got to tell you, I was pretty excited. I got an email that invited me to speak on a main stage at Harvard. Now, that sounds pretty cool, right? Ivy League institution, Boston, Mass, Cambridge, Mass, excuse me. So excited for this opportunity. And then I kind of read a little bit more into the email, and it says, well, it's a TED-like event on the Harvard campus. And then I read a little further along, and it all but guarantees me a spot on the main stage. And I'm pretty excited about this. And there's a link I can watch that takes me to a YouTube clip. So I followed it. And it took me to what was really about a 30-minute infomercial of somebody I don't know telling me how awesome they are at putting together an event that basically allows anybody who pays for a ticket to come to their event. They'll have the ability to say that they have, quote, spoken on a main stage at Harvard. Now, I got to thinking about that, and I thought, well, okay, I guess you could say you'd spoken at Harvard, but then again, I could say I've spoken at a lot of places. I could say I've spoken to lots of companies, big, small, public, private, for-profit, not-for-profit. Yeah, I've spoken to lots of people, but I don't go around just saying, hey, I've spoken at Harvard. Or I spoke at this naval shipyard, or I spoke at this corporation. I mean, if somebody wants to know who my clients are, I'll share with you the people that I've worked with. That's not a big secret. But what's really amazing is that this guy is selling you the ability to say that you've spoken on the stage at Harvard, as if that makes you some sort of authority or something. So it went a step further. There's a guy in the video. They show you a clip. Or maybe it was on the website. I don't remember. But there was an image of this guy's like LinkedIn or Facebook profile or something, and it's like past jobs. And as the title of the job he put, I've spoken on a main stage at Harvard. Who does that? If I saw that on somebody's website and it was someone that I was thinking about buying some services from or I wanted to consider them to be an expert, look, if you're an expert in your area, you don't have to tell me, okay? Your work speaks for itself. I don't care where you've spoken. You know, I don't care if you've spoken to companies I've never heard of. If you can help me in my business right now, and you can prove that you're like legit, then that's okay with me. But not just saying, well, I've spoken at Harvard, so therefore I'm an expert. That's a terrible idea. I've been thinking a lot this week about your business. Because the promise I've got to you with this podcast is to make sure that you get something of value each and every week that helps your business be better. In fact, I want to go a step further. I want to make sure that you, with your own customers and prospects, have something that you give them on a regular basis that has value. You see, I've paid people to help me grow my business, But none of the folks like the gentleman, and I'll use that term loosely, that marketer who sent me that email earlier in the week. Now, the people that get my money are people that have earned it. You want to know how they earned it? They earned it by giving something away for free that was of value to me first. People that I look up to, people that I've seen that have great marketing minds, like my friend David Newman, or one of my first speaking mentors, Darren LaCroix, the 2001 world champion of public speaking. He has a thriving business. I used to go to events with him. I would drive him to events and work his product table in the back of the room just to get time with him in the car and the time to see how the business was run. And oh yeah, by the way, even though he was a friend, I valued his work so much, I paid for some of his courses. Did the same thing with David's. I did a master marketing class with him last summer and spent several weeks, every week on a teleconference with the other participants, growing my business and getting better at what I do. And I was happy to pay for it because I knew that it had tremendous value. But I never would have done that if I hadn't just reached out to David, somebody that I knew, and said, hey, I got an issue, I got a problem, I'm trying to work out something. And his response to me was amazing. He asked if I'd had a copy of his book. Not if I would buy one, but he asked if I had a copy of it. David, I hope you don't mind me telling this story, but he mailed me a copy of his book. It showed up at my doorstep 2 days later with a handwritten note inside of it that was inspirational at a time where I needed to hear something good. And he said, look, you can start anywhere you want, but there's a 28-step launch pad in the back of this book that'll help you out. And I recommend you start there. And I read day one, the launch step, 28 steps to building your marketing plan, and worked through the exercise. And I did step 2, and I looked through the exercise. And they kept corresponding back to things at the front of the book. And before I knew it, I'd read the entire book. He could have sold me a book. I would have gladly paid for it. He could have just sent me those 28 steps, but they would have been out of context because there wasn't all the other stuff from the book that went with it. But instead, he gave that to me. He gave me a chance to call in every month and listen to the teleseminars he offers for free on his website. Go to doitmarketing.com and check out his stuff. It's awesome. Okay? And it's not rocket science. The challenge is, I bet you've never asked these tough questions about you and your own business before. And David challenged me to do that. And I had enough respect for David that when he personally called me that next year, a year later, and he said, hey man, you ready to do this thing? You know, it wasn't even a year now that I think about it. It's about 6 months later. But he called and he challenged me. He said, let's pull the trigger. Let's do this, man. Let's do it. And I said, you know what? You're right. And it was an easy decision for me to make. So what I want you to know is that your clients kind of have that expectation from you. Give them something. Write a blog on a regular basis. I tried that for a while. Blogging was, for some reason, more difficult for me. I've recently been doing some homework, though, about copywriting and putting together blogs and some other stuff. Not that schmarmy marketing stuff, but stuff that has value. And I'm going to make that more of a concerted effort. But I have made the commitment to you that every Tuesday morning you're going to get a blog. I didn't have tomorrow's episode ready yet. Well, I guess it would be today's episode because you're listening to it. Now the cat's out of the bag. I'm doing this the day before I promised you it would be there. Why? Because I made you the promise. And I want you to know that if I say I'm going to do something for you in your business, I'm going to follow through and do it. Why? Because integrity is all I have. If I can show and demonstrate integrity, it'll make it easier someday if you decide you want to hire me to come speak at your event or work with your team or work with you one-on-one, whatever it is you want to do. Sure, I mean, there's no secret. That's what I do for a living. But I've made the promise that this podcast, the Success Charger podcast with Scott Cooksey, will always be free. And my guarantee is that I will always make sure that there's something of value that you get from it. A lesson that I've learned the hard way so you don't have to. Some how-tos, some step-by-step techniques and tools that you can use to make your business better right away. Whether that's from me, from someone that we interview on the program, or even just responding to the listener questions. Hey, I mentioned before, if you have a question, send us one at podcast@ideacharger.com. The comments that have been coming in already on my survey have already started to indicate a lot along this way. Now, I don't want to say too much because I want you to give me an honest answer. What's the single problem that I could take away from your business? There are some themes developing, and you're going to see those play out in some upcoming episodes of the podcast. We're going to have those there. Listen, if you're having trouble building the business that you want, getting back to you, I want you to give away more of what you do. People have to know that you're even out there before they can make the decision to buy from you. So what are you doing to put yourself out there? Do you buy from cold callers? I don't. Why? Because I don't believe in it. I want to know that you are someone of value, someone that I can trust. Now, it might create some awareness. I might, out of curiosity, go see who you are. But I'm going to lean a whole lot more on a personal recommendation from you, which is why I say if you're getting something out of the podcast, please share it with somebody. Just send them a link to the episode. Okay? You can always send them to successchargerpodcast.com and let them listen. It's free. You get credit for it because you sent them to the site. If they like it, awesome. I hope they subscribe. And I hope that you have already subscribed. And many of you I've been hearing back from, thank you. You have been subscribing, and I know that you have, and because it's showing up. And I got to tell you how excited I am about what I'm hearing back from you. It lets me know that this podcast is on point, it's on track, and it's delivering what people need to hear in their business. Hey, if you don't like it, that's cool. Unsubscribe, go listen to somebody else's podcast because somebody else is giving away something of value that you can learn from. I've mentioned before, there are plenty of people out there that give great advice. I listen to a great number of podcasts each and every week, and I'm learning something from people, whether it's the technique of how they interview, how they edit their show, or maybe actually they're just telling me, here's some tips of how you can grow your business. Here's how you can market it. I'm distilling some of those ideas and sharing a few of those with you, but a lot of what I'm sharing with you are things that I've gleaned over the last 7 years that I've been traveling around the globe working with companies. And I found that it comes down to building a connection with the people that are around you each and every day. I say the podcast will always be free. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, by all means, I'm happy to promote your business to our listeners. Okay, so get in touch with me. Just podcast@ideacharger.com. But let me offer this to you as well. Because one of the things that's coming up is I've realized that some people like what the podcast is doing, but once a week doesn't appear to be enough for you. And this may be you. So if you're thinking about it, if you like what we're about, if this is the first episode that you've heard, I encourage you to go back and listen to some of the earlier episodes that we've got and just kind of get a feel for where the show is going. But if you like what's going on, if you want to finish 2015 really, really strong, if you want to be riding the wave when you get to 2016 and start out just leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else, if you have got some new responsibilities coming up, some of my friends that listen to the show, you guys are in the oil and gas business. It's tough out there right now, right? In several of the industries that I work in, there's a lot of consolidation going on. Some of my clients have had some layoffs and some other things. And they're all driven by what's going on in their industry right now. It's no reflection of the fantastic people that you are and the fantastic people that work and run for these companies or run these companies. It's just a function of where we are in the business cycle. But I will tell you, most of the great learning that happens in an industry is done by those who learn in the down times. Okay? So you've never had a better time than right now. Some of my best growth, some of my most incredible success that happened in business started off with events like 9/11. I'll be honest with you, I've been let go from a job before. And you know what? It was awesome. Okay, in the moment, I'll be honest, it kind of stunk. But once I got past feeling bad about myself, I realized I was trying to be that square peg that someone was trying to jam into that round hole. And I liked being a square peg, and I didn't want to change that. I started looking for a square hole. And what happened? I wound up building a business that I love, that I'm all about, that I'm excited about, and just can't seem to get enough of. And I want you to have that kind of passion in what you do. I want you to be able to bulletproof the team of people you work with, whether it's an actual team because you work in a company, or if it's a virtual team because you're a solopreneur, you're somebody who's out there, riding cowboy, you are out there you're out there doing your own thing, but you've got an army of colleagues and virtual assistants and people that work around you, whatever they're like. If you want to improve the communication with the people around you, if you'd like to really dig into your business and understand more about what's going on, we are about to unleash a brand new program. We've never offered this before, but at ideacharger.com, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some stuff coming out about this. Let me tell you how to make sure that you get this information. If you will go to the website, ideacharger.com, and you will put your name and your email address in the registration box there on the front page. I think it's in the upper right-hand corner of the page. And just say, yep, I want to know what's going on with Idea Charger. Keep me posted. It's all right there. I promise you that you're not only going to find out, you'll be one of the first to find out all the details when it comes available. But number two, I'm going to offer you as a podcast listener an exclusive discount off the prices that I'm offering to people, even those that are on some of my other email lists. Got it? So if you want to get more people going on about this, they have to be on this podcast list. And the way you get on it is ideacharger.com, and just sign up there on the page, and we'll make sure that you get the special codes. You know exactly what you have to do for the exclusive discounted program that's there. There's going to be a program for individuals. So if it's just you, maybe you've got to dig in your own pocket and invest in your own success. Certainly want to make that a possibility for you. If you run a team, if you've got a group of people and you want to offer this up to them, we'll have some team workshop packages and things that are coming together. I am super excited about what's coming up here. None of that means a thing if you don't come here each and every week with your free podcast subscription and get something that you can use, even if you never, ever, ever pay me a dime or buy me a beer, which I'm always up for, by the way, or coffee if you're not a beer drinker. I'll go for that too. So let's leave it at that. I want to keep this week short and sweet. I'm going to wrap this one up. I've got a couple more interviews coming. I'm working on something really, really, really awesome, cool, with a good friend of mine that I've recently reconnected with. I couldn't find him, and it turns out he's literally been going around the world doing some cool stuff with entrepreneurs, and we're going to get him on the show here in the next few weeks. We're trying to hammer out the details and logistics now, when he can get a reliable internet connection and we can get him where we can get this interview recorded. I'm super stoked about that one. I think you're going to enjoy it. It'll be a perspective you've never heard before. So anyway, that's what I've got for this week. It's Scott with Success Charger.
If you enjoyed what you just heard, please post your 5-star review and subscribe to Success Charger today. Your future is waiting.